because there are a lot of hair strands to her. I put so much of her I can't even count how many hair strands there are. But I think that's kind of the case with a lot of humans, is that there are just so many little hairs on the head that it's really hard to say how many exactly there are.
So the shading that you've used on the dress, is that cross-hatching? Is that what that's called? Or is it something?
Yeah, it's
It looks similar to cross-hatching.
Yeah, well, it's similar to that. Yeah, it's just kind of my way of trying to add to the dimensionality of it, because it's sort of, because I start out light and then kind of add these sort of darker areas, give it a more, and like I said, give it a bit more dimensionality. So yeah, so now I'm back up, adding some little details for her face, and now I'm up to getting shadows on her face from the hair. So, and just a little bit around the eyes here. So now I'm getting to the really trickiest part, is the hair. And when I say tricky, I mean because it's really sometimes hard to tell when to do the shading and when not to do the shading on the hair strands, and because sometimes it could get pretty confusing. And sometimes I'll even forget about whether or not I shaded it in. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. But the hair shading is important because
yeah, it is.
The sunlight affects, of course, not just people's faces, but also the tone of their hair color.
Mm-hmm.
Sunshine can make somebody's dark hair seem really light, make the strands seem really light. Or
so now I'm kind of darkening the interior of her hair here. Just I'm just gonna work on the medallion here a bit. So, yeah, so just this arm, and I think it'll be pretty much all set. Of course, I could go back and work on this more, but because good art never finished.
there was a poem poet who once said, I forget who it was, I think it was a French poet. I think it was, might have been Paul Valéry, and he said that a poem is never done, it's just abandoned.
Yeah. Same thing could be said about art.
I guess he must have said a poem's never finished, it's just abandoned.
Yeah. So.
Kind of like life, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Ah, there's the rest of the nose. So with facial features, so much of the sense of what a face is depends on shading, doesn't it? Really, it's not so much the line. A lot of it's the line, but it's also shading.
Yeah, it really just helps define the character more. So, I'm just gonna darken this area here.
Yeah, that really added a lot to the nose.
And here. And here's the drawing, and I think for my first try in front of a camera, I think this came out pretty well.
Okay, why don't you hold it up?